Hello students, welcome back to physics class. Today our topic is recap of gravitation lesson. We already completed gravitation lesson. So what we learned in this lesson? First of all, gravitation is a force. It is a type of non-contact force. So two types of forces are there, contact and non-contact. So what are the types of, if there is a physical contact between the two bodies, it is said to be contact force. If there is no physical contact between two bodies and the force, one body is exerting force on another body, then it is called a non-contact force. How many types of contact forces are there? Friction, tension, muscular, mechanical, biological, and normal force. Frictional force is the force which opposes the motion between the two bodies which are in contact. And tensional force is the tension of the string. If something is hanging over a string, if something is hanging to a string, the weight of that object will act on the string, and the string is stopping the object without falling on the earth. So the stiffness of the string is called tension. Muscular force means force exerted by muscles. Mechanical force means force exerted by machines. Biological force means force exerted by animals. Normal force means if two bodies are in contact with each other, the weight of the chalk piece is acting on my hand. In reverse, my hand is also exerting some force on this chalk piece to keep it rest. In which direction? Normal direction, in perpendicular direction. Here the force applied by me on the chalk piece, the force applied by the hand on the chalk piece is called normal force. And how many types of non-contact forces are there? There are three types of forces. What are they? Yes, gravitational force, magnetic force, and electrostatic force. Gravitational force means the force exerted by the earth on the objects. The force which pull the objects towards the center of the earth is called gravitational force exerted by earth. So the body which is having some mass can exert gravitational force. Sun can exert gravitational force on earth and moon. Earth can exert gravitational force on moon. Earth can exert gravitational force on us. So the body which is having some mass can exert gravitational force, and it will pull the objects towards the center. Even I will have gravitational force, and this ball will also have gravitational force. But why this ball and I am not get attracted by each other? The gravitational force exerted by the earth is more than the gravitational force between me and this ball. So this force is negligible when compared to the force between earth and me. So that's why I am not getting attracted to the board. I am getting attracted to the earth. Why? Because gravitational force depends upon mass. The object which is having more mass will have more gravitational force. Next one is magnetic force. What is magnetic force? Force exerted by magnets. The force of attraction or repulsion by magnets is called magnetic force. Why these forces are called non-contact force? Here I am in contact with the earth, but I am saying non-contact force. Why? Why? Because if I am jumping from a table, if I am on the table, I am not actually in contact with earth. The table is in contact with earth. But if I am on the table and if I am jumping, still there is a force of attraction between me and the earth. That's why I am falling down. If that force is not there, we will fly. So gravitational force can be exerted when there is no contact also, and magnetic force will also exert when there is no physical contact. When two magnets are separated by a distance and unlike poles are facing each other, then what will happen? They both will come and into contact with each other. Although there is no contact between them, one magnet can apply force on another magnet to get it into contact or to repel it. So magnetic force is a non-contact force. That means one magnet can apply force on another magnet without any physical contact between them. What is electrostatic force? In the same way, we have charges. Charges will apply force on another charge. Charge can repel another charge. Charge can attract another charge. Example for this is we have plastic scale to our hair, and if we bring that scale to small pieces of paper, this small piece of paper get attracted to the scale due to electrostatic force. Here the scale is a charged body and small pieces of papers are uncharged body. So these small pieces of paper get attracted to the scale due to electrostatic force between them. So the force applied by a charged body on uncharged body or charged body on another charged body is called electrostatic force. So in this we are going to learn about gravitational force. Gravitational force, just before we discussed that gravity depends upon mass of an object, and we said gravity is a force. So gravitational force F, I am denoting with Fg, that means force of gravity depends upon mass. And if there is only one object, there is no gravity. One object cannot apply force on itself. Another object should be there. Then only one object can apply force on another object. So another object will also have mass. So gravitational force is directly proportional to mass of the objects. If mass is more, gravitational force is also more. And gravitational force is proportional to square of the distance between them. For example, there are two masses, big M and small m, and these are separated with a distance d. So the gravitational force between these two masses is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. How do we got this square of the distance between them? By Kepler's law of planetary model, we got F proportional to 1 by d square. Who derived that? Newton derived that. So by adding these two, we got force of gravity is proportional to big M small m by d square, and force of gravity is equals to remove the proportionality and to get an equality symbol, we have to add one constant. That constant is big G, and big G is also called as gravitational constant. Very good. Gravitational constant. So big G, big M, small m by d square is the formula for gravitational force. Here big G is the gravitational constant or universal gravitational constant. Big M is mass of one object, small m is mass of another object, and d is the distance between both of this object, distance between them. If the objects are small, it's okay, but if the objects are very big, for example this is sun and this is earth, then we have to measure the distance between them from the center, from the center point of the sun to the center point of the earth. That distance we should take. We should not take this distance, we should take the distance from the center. And let us learn about Kepler's laws of planetary model, and let us learn how this equation came, how this one came. To know that, first we have to know what Kepler told. Kepler told three laws. First law, the orbit of the earth is in elliptical shape and sun will be at the focus. And the earth is revolving in an elliptical shape. Sun is at the focus. Actually for an elliptical shape there are two focus. Sun will present at one of the focus. This is the first law. And what is the second law? If we divide this into some areas, all these areas are covered in equal intervals of time. Areas are covered in equal intervals of time. For example, let us take this as O, A, B, C, D. How many areas are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 areas are there. You can take more areas also. Now I am taking 4 areas. Here what are the areas? OAB is an area, OBC is an area, OCD is an area, OAD is also an area. So all these areas are covered by the earth around the sun in equal intervals of time. Equal intervals of time means, see here the time taken by the earth to reach from A to B and time taken by the earth to reach from B to C, time taken by the earth to reach from C to D, time taken by the earth to reach from D to A, all are same. But here the distances are different. How it is possible? Why? Because if the earth is very near to the sun, the gravitational force acted by the sun on the earth is more. Due to that, it can cover more distance. If it is going far from the sun, the gravitational force exerted by the sun on the earth will decrease. Why? Because distance is increasing. That's why the earth is moving very slowly. Here fast, when it is going, it will become slow. That's why from B to C, it covers only less distance. See the distance here and see the distance here. The earth will move slowly and covers less distance. Here the earth moves fastly and covers more distance. Why? Because movement of the earth depends upon the gravitational force exerted by the sun. You understand? So here second law is, it is covering equal areas in equal intervals of time. What is third law? Third law is very important. Third law leads Newton to derive the equation of gravitational constant, to derive the equation for a gravitational force. Third law is cube of the radius is proportional to square of the time period. Cube of the radius means this r means distance between sun and the earth. But here the distances are different. Here distance is less, here distance is more. If we take the average of this, we will get mean distance between sun and the earth. This one is cube of the mean distance between earth and the sun is proportional to square of the time period. What is time period? Time period is time taken by the earth to complete one revolution. To complete one revolution. How many days? 365 days. Time taken by the earth to complete one revolution is called time period of the earth. So cube of the main distance is proportional to square of the time period of the earth. So this is the third law of Kepler. So to remove this proportionality, what we have to do? We should add one constant. So r cube is equals to k into t square. Why we are using k here? Why? Because it is told by Kepler. So r cube by t square is equals to k. Here what is k? A constant, some constant. Keep this in your mind that r cube by t square is constant. R cube by t is equals to some constant. Take this as equation 1. So by using this, Newton derived a new equation. Newton first he assumed that the earth is revolving around the sun in circular path. If something is moving in a circular path, it will have two types of forces, centripetal force and centrifugal force. These two forces, centripetal force will pull the objects towards the center and centrifugal force will pull the objects away from the center. Away from the center. It will pull the objects towards the center, it will pull the objects away from the center. It is centripetal force. It is centrifugal force. But the earth is not going into the sun or the earth is not going away from the orbit. But the earth is moving in one direction. Why? Because these two forces are equal and opposite to each other, and those two forces are cancelled. So here net force is 0 and the earth is moving with constant velocity. So here this force is equals to gravitational force. Here centripetal force means gravitational force. Why? Because the sun is attracting the earth towards its center. So here centripetal force is equals to gravitational force. And centrifugal force, formula for centrifugal force is F is equals to mv square by r. Here m means mass of the earth. Mass, we know that mass is constant. If we remove this constant, we can put proportionality symbol. So F proportional to V square by R, where